Good morning. It is now day 21. It is travel home day. I can't believe it's already that time already. It is so sad. So I had made a plan to possibly go to Universal because it's supposed to open today to the public, but I slept terribly last night. I think it's that thing of, I don't know if anyone else on travel days just constantly thinking of so many different things and it just makes me stressed out. So I did not sleep very well. So I decided, okay, turn the alarm off and just get up when you get up. And by the time I got up, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to have enough time in the park. I would only have about an hour and a half in there anyway before I had to leave. And actually this morning, because I've got a theme park view, none of the big rides that I can see from my window are actually operating. So it might have worked out for the best that I didn't kind of get up super early and rush around and then head to the parks, because there's probably not the rides that I was planning to go on, like Velocicoaster is not running. So although it's really sad, it is one of those things. So we're going to carry on with our day. I've just finished packing. I've got everything in the 3 cases. I'm so pleased. The only thing I'm worried about is one of them's quite heavy. So I'm hoping I don't have to try and rejig it in the airport, because that would be a nightmare. So let's pray that that doesn't happen. But aside from that, we are all ready to go. I do feel a bit sad because I do feel like the past couple of days I haven't got the most out of the trip. So like today, I could have gone to the parks. It would have been for like an hour and a half maximum. Didn't think I'd get much done. And actually, there's nothing really operating at the moment, so maybe it was for the best. And yesterday, Volcano Bay did open. Unfortunately, the communication was really bad again. So Volcano Bay actually opened at 11 a.m. But I didn't get a voice message on my phone in my room until 1:45, and Universal did not make any announcements on their social media until 3 p.m. So if I'd have known, I would have gone there instead of Disney Springs, and then Disney Springs instead, all of that stuff. So it feels like these past 2 days where you could have done things, I feel like I've missed out a little bit. And I do think the lack of communication has been a constant theme since being at Universal. And it is one of those niggles. It's just like, it would be good to have had the information faster, but I know at the same time they were also dealing with loads of things going on. But even if you just let people know, we don't have an update at the moment, but we'll let you know in an hour or two of what's happening. If you just do regular updates, at least people know what's going on. So I think that has been a little bit of a frustration, and I felt like I haven't got the most out of these past couple of days. But the fact that anything was open at all was a massive bonus, because this was a very big hurricane. It was much bigger than expected. Florida had, it's like 1 in 200 year flooding. It's just crazy. So it's amazing how quickly things have been worked on and cleaned up and stuff. It's mad. I can't believe it, because in the UK, if there's one leaf on a train line, that's it, no travel. And I cannot believe how quickly they've managed to sort a lot of things out. So I'm very thankful for that. So at least we did get to go out yesterday. And then today I'm going to head back over to Disney for a brunch. I always end my trips at Disney no matter what, because that is where my heart is. So I'm very excited to go back there. I'm going back to Wilderness Lodge, so it'll be nice to kind of relax in that setting. It's very beautiful, before heading to the airport. This was actually my first time doing a split stay, so I stayed at 3 resorts this trip, and I do think it is a really great way to visit Orlando, because if you are going to be spending a lot of time in Disney and Universal, then staying at both of those resorts just makes it so much easier, because you have the free transportation, you're really close to everything, you're not having to travel far or pay out for taxis, transport, stuff like that. So I do think that has been really good. I've liked Cabana Bay. The room size has been amazing. The decor is really cute. The buses to the parks are super frequent. The staff were all amazing during the hurricane, and managing to keep the restaurant open and keeping everyone fed and happy was absolutely incredible. I have to say though, Universal is still not my favourite. I'm really glad that on that Tuesday I managed to get, basically, apart from like 5 or 6 things, like rides or shows, I managed to do absolutely everything I wanted to do in both parks. And this is an experience I've found before. If I come in September, Universal is a 1-day park for me. So I was really lucky to get most of the things I wanted to done. It would have been nice to this time go multiple days to see if I would have experienced the parks in different ways. But I also think 4 days for me would have been too much. So although the hurricane was an unexpected thing, at least it came at a time where I'd kind of already done a lot that I wanted to do. So Would I be in a rush to stay at Universal again? Possibly not. Just because for me, it's not my favourite theme park. I think if you love big coasters, thrills, it's got amazing rides, and the Harry Potter world is incredible. The Wizarding World is outstanding. It's so next level. So that is really great, but Universal is just not my favourite theme park. Disney is where it's at for me, and I spent 2 weeks solidly in Disney, and I could have gone another 2 weeks easily, whereas I think 4 days at Universal would have been a struggle for me. So I've enjoyed it, but I don't know if I would stay again, just because I'd probably just do 1 day at Universal. So I thought I could give you a little look at Universal today. Now it's lovely and sunny again. I have just seen Rip Ride Rockit go. So that ride does seem to be open now, which is exciting. And that's kind of on the far right of the screen. I don't know if it's too small for you to see, but it's good to see that going. That's the only ride that I can see operating at the moment, but of course there are lots of rides that aren't as tall as these ones that could be open at the moment. I had been trying to think of things that I could do today, so I had thought about going back to the outlet that opens at 10 and my reservation's at 11, and I was like, oh, that could be good, like a really quick look, but then I was like, we don't have any space to buy things, so that could be quite a dangerous activity to do. I've done Disney Springs yesterday. Like I said, I would have had not much time at all in the Universal Park. So again, it does feel like a bit of a wasted day, but that's also because my original flight home was at 8 p.m. And then about 6 weeks before flying out, they changed it to 5:30. So originally I would have had most of today before having to head to the airport. And that would have made a massive difference. I absolutely would have gone in Universal because I would have had loads of time. So that would have been really good. So it is just a shame the way things have worked out. But there's nothing you can kind of do. Like, if you can't have any input in something and you can't change anything, then why worry about it? Like, you just got to let it go. So it has been nice to kind of have a easy morning. I'm not looking forward to the flight. I think it's going to be very long. I always hate flying home because I can never sleep on planes. And then once I land, I've got to drive home and all of that stuff, and you're like, I'm exhausted, and it's never fun. So I'm hoping maybe tonight I will sleep. The first time ever on a night flight. But yeah, it's been nice to actually have a kind of relaxing morning and sorting out these cases because they've been a big stress, and I'm very happy that they are now packed. So we are all done. I have the 2 big cases to go in the hold. The big one is the heavy one, but I'm worried about, but we'll just have to see. The little one's going to come in with me. I've also got my lightsaber, and I do have a backpack, so I'm just hoping that they just let me take the lightsaber on. So we'll see what happens. I also had some snack items left over that I didn't finish, and I had seen that people had been leaving notes for housekeeping just to say if these can be of use to anyone, because obviously after the hurricane some people's food perished because of the power cuts and stuff like that. So I've just left a little note to say, if this could be of help to anyone, please feel free to take it. And then hopefully, instead of being wasted, it can get to be used, which would be really cool. So before I head out and begin the day, I thought I would do a little summary of what the trip has been like. I have to say, those 14 days in the Disney parks were the most magical time. It's definitely the best trip I've ever had to Disney World. It was like a dream. Like, I did everything I'd wanted to do, like the Keys to the Kingdom tour, all of these extra things, and just the magic was so alive. The cast members were absolutely incredible. Everyone was so nice, going above and beyond, and I just had the most magical experience. Like, I could have stayed forever. It was absolutely incredible. I really didn't have any negative things apart from the lightsabers thing. That was the one downside, and that was not fun. But apart from that, everything was even better than I could have ever imagined. So people have been worried, is the magic gone? What's it like now? And I think it was even more than before. Like, I just had the best experience. Like, it was just the most magical time ever. So it was absolutely perfect. It was then nice to have 2 nights at Animal Kingdom Lodge to relax. The experience was a bit different to what I was anticipating, but it is a really beautiful resort, amazing restaurants. So I did really enjoy that still. And then obviously the Universal portion was not as expected due to Hurricane Ian, but I was so impressed with how it was all dealt with. There was a lack of communication. I would say that was the one bugbear, but I was kind of like, just stay in your room. That's obviously the best option, just stay in your room. So it would have been great to have a bit more information, a bit more communication from Universal. I would say that's the one downside. I was really lucky, I got so much done on that Tuesday. I had an amazing time. Velocicoaster and Hagrid's, I was desperate to ride them. I'm so glad I got to. They were so incredible. Hagrid's was amazing. I thought I was going to come away like Velocicoaster is my absolute favourite, and they are both absolutely incredible, but I think Hagrid's I liked more. That may be controversial, but it was so much fun. So I'm glad that I got to do that. I'm glad I managed to fit so much in, so that even though I missed out on a few days, it didn't really impact the trip so much. Obviously, going through a hurricane was something that was a new experience. Coming out here, it was not something that was on the radar at all. So it was very interesting to go through that. I've been so impressed with how quickly they've been getting to work, how efficiently everything is done. The fact that the team members stayed at the hotel to help everyone was absolutely incredible. So although that was not a planned thing, and it did change the course of the trip, it was an experience, and I'm just very thankful to all the people that did so much hard work, because it is so appreciated. So yeah, it has been an interesting trip. The first half of it, or the first 2 weeks of it, were beyond anything I could have imagined. The last week was completely different to what I imagined, but it's been memorable for all of those reasons. And yeah, it was the best. And it's that thing of like, you don't know when you're going to come back, so it is kind of sad to be leaving. And I know it's not a case of I will never be back. Of course not. But it's always sad when you're like, oh, but I love it here. When will I be back? So we will just have to go home, make some little notes about saving and things I can do to try and save up for the next trip. And I'll obviously definitely be back. So it's just been a dream. It's been absolutely incredible. And a final thing before heading out to start the final day is I just want to say a massive thank you to every single person who has messaged me, left comments, subscribed, reached out. It has been so amazing to speak to so many of you. It's been an absolute dream. It's been amazing talking to some of the people in the parks, and it's just made my trip so amazing because I've always had people to talk to. So even though you're on a solo trip, you never feel alone because so many of you have been reaching out, and it's been so nice to chat to so many of you. So thank you so much. It is so appreciated. So now it's time to have one final look at the room and say bye-bye Cabana Bay for this trip. It's starting to happen, guys. I can feel a tantrum coming on. I don't know if anyone else gets like that, and you're like, I'm not going, I'm not leaving, I'm staying here forever. I hate the last days, guys, and that's why in some ways I'm glad at Disney, like Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom, I didn't have the proper goodbye, because I get really upset and in a really like, no, I'm not leaving. So like, I'm kind of glad that those ones I kind of left thinking I was going to come back and then didn't, because at least I didn't have that feeling. But I'm like, uh-oh, it's coming now. I can feel it brewing. So it is so nice to be back on Disney property and to have a little bit of Disney magic before leaving. I'm now at Wilderness Lodge and I've come here for a brunch, which I am super excited about. It was somewhere that I really wanted to dine, and I'd had it planned out this whole trip. I was going to do it on my last day, so I'm very excited to go in. This is always such an impressive entrance. It's a really beautiful lobby. It's kind of one of my favourites, along with Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is stunning. As soon as you arrive at Disney, you can feel the difference. Everyone says good morning, how are you doing? And it really gives you like a pep in your step. Like, everyone's so friendly and uplifting. So it's so nice to be back on Disney property. I'm gonna have a little look around Wilderness Lodge before a reservation and just enjoy. It's just so beautiful, this resort. Wilderness Lodge is just such a pretty resort, and if you are someone like me that loves being out in nature, you really do feel like that even though you're at Disney. You can also get a boat from here to Magic Kingdom, which is a really lovely touch. And yeah, I can actually hear the ferry boats. So just around here is the route to Magic Kingdom. I can't even explain the difference of being back on Disney property. There's just something in the air. You're walking around, people are friendly, there's a great atmosphere, there's music playing. I've just heard the fireworks go off on top of the castle, and it just feels so good. I'm so glad I did this because I have been feeling a little bit flat these past couple of days. So to come back and get that boost of magic, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm on holiday still, I'm at Disney, I'm in Orlando, this is amazing. So I'm so glad I came here. I always like to do Disney on my final day because I just want a little bit more of that magic, and it was absolutely needed. So this is the famous geyser at Wilderness Lodge, and every now and then it will go off. So if you're lucky enough to be around, you can see the water spurting out. I do feel bad about saying I felt flat for a couple of days because of course being in your hotel room is not a hardship comparative to what anyone else has been going through. The fact that there's been mass floodings, uncertainty about if you can go to work, and of course on the coast total destruction of homes and loss of lives. So it's really not a hardship whatsoever, and I was so thankful how well we were looked after, and I can't thank and praise the team members enough because what they did was above and beyond. But it's just that weird thing, I think the feelings about everything are catching up, like, oh gosh, like, although in September you can have hurricanes, until like a few days before there was no kind of mention of it, so it all happened quite quickly, and having never been through it, I suppose just you're kind of like, oh, a bit shocked and processing everything that happened. So yeah, it's been a bit unusual the past few days, and you do feel bad because of course you've had complete luxury. You haven't had to be worrying about, do you have to evacuate, will my house still be there, what am I going to do with my pets, you don't have any of those worries. You've been able to just sit in your room comfortably and wait the storm out. So it does feel weird to feel kind of flat because you feel bad for it. But it has been so nice the past 2 days to be able to get out, to speak to people, see how they're doing, and that's been really nice. There's a really great community spirit, so that has been perfect. And to come here today and everyone be so lovely, it's just the greatest way to end the trip. So you may have guessed it, but I'm here at Whispering Canyon Cafe. I'm so excited to eat here. I'm really excited to have Just Egg again because that was my favourite thing. I'm obsessed with it. I hope it comes to the UK. I'm going to have the pepper jack cheese frittata. I'm very excited for this meal, and I know that there's lots of like fun that they have in this restaurant, so I can't wait to experience that. So my frittata has arrived and it looks so good, and it's got melted cheese, the amazing sausage that I haven't had for a while, and some great breakfast potatoes. It looks like a really hearty meal which can be perfect before the flight, so let's dive in. Guys, Just Egg is amazing. It's so good, it's so realistic. You get peppers inside, pepper jack cheese. This is a really good kind of like frittata omelette. Really nice. Some little horses with hairs, and what will happen with these? So I have loved my meal here at Whispering Canyon Cafe. The frittata was so good. I'm so glad I got to have some Just Egg before leaving. The interactions and like the fun things they do here have been awesome, and I've had the most amazing lovely server, so what a great little bit of Disney magic before heading home. So that was an absolute hoot. I would absolutely come back. There was a really funny moment where it was a girl's birthday but not for 5 days, so they were like, everybody, I want you all to shout out happy birthday Liar, because it's not her birthday today. And then they brought over a cupcake for her, and then another one of the servers came along, took a bite, and then tipped it upside down on a plate and was like, enjoy. And it was so fun. Of course they then did get her an actual cupcake, but it was such a fun experience. There's so much great interaction. I had the loveliest server, and it's just been amazing to come back into the Disney magic, and I'm feeling so much more buoyed and uplifted, and yeah, it's just a really great way to end the trip. So we're gonna have a little look in the shop now. Always going to look in the shop, and then maybe have a final walk around the resort before heading to the airport. Oh, it's the worst time. How cute is this at the entrance to the shop? I always love looking at the resort specific merch, and they have really cute, oh my gosh, look at this is what we just saw outside, that's so cute. I also love this, so nice. Oh, they even have a little decoration. And then of course you get some great merch themed to just the resort. Absolutely love this mug, that is hilarious. Oh, and you can even buy the box the Evil Queen keeps, or wants to keep, Snow White's heart in. That's amazing. So I've not actually been able to find the Halloween t-shirt I wanted to get, but at the airport there is a Disney shop, so we'll have one last look in there. You can get all your Disney stuff everywhere, it's great. And that, as they say, is a wrap for Disney. I can't believe we've had 21 days out in Orlando. It has been amazing. Like, I don't want to get emotional, but you know, people always think Disney's for kids because they have the most fun, but I really think it's so important for adults because it's escapism. There's so much stuff going on in the world at the moment. To come here and everything be happy and joyful and most importantly optimistic and uplifting is the best tonic. So it's meant so much to be here. Oh, I didn't want to cry, but I knew it was coming. I mentioned the tension was building earlier. I knew this was going to happen, but at least it's only happened kind of once. If I'd have been at Magic Kingdom, this would have happened a lot earlier. So, thank you so much for watching. I am going to still film a little bit of my journey on the plane, stuff like that, what it is like. But for Disney, that is it for this time. And it's very sad when you don't have a date to come back, but it's not going to be a case of never being back again. It's just too good here. It's just the most magical place. I know it's called the most magical place on earth, but it really, really is. So, one amazing trip. It's just been so much more than I expected. It's been the most amazing set of memories created, and yeah, I've loved every second. Apart from the scariness of the hurricane and the aftermath for the people living here, that was not so fun. But I'm amazed at the resilience of everyone, so it has been absolutely awesome. And now unfortunately it's time to say goodbye to Disney and head to the airport and get back to Blighty. So I have my car hire with Hertz and my contract is that I have to return it full. They have a weird stipulation that you have to fill up within 10 miles of the airport. Now there are gas stations at the airport, but they charge more than double the amount everyone else does. So I had a little look online before and found some. I've come off of the 417, I think that's the road I'm on, and I've come up at junction 14 and there are gas stations here, so I'm going to fill up here. They're a normal price, and then it's just 3 more junctions until I'm at the airport, so I'm going to do that now. So I am now at MCO. As you can see, I'm very hot and flustered and half my makeup has been sweated off. The drop off for the car was easy, so simple, didn't even need to show them the receipt, but I'm glad I got it. The check-in was a bit of a nightmare. It was a really long queue, and then I weighed my bags and one was over and all the rest were under, so I had to spend ages trying to reconfigure, so that was very stressful. And then also, this is such a silly thing to be stressed about, but everything here is carpet, and I've got the type of cases where they're the 4 wheels. Trying to drag 3 of them on carpet was nearly impossible. It was a nightmare. I've now got to the security gate and it's a 75-minute wait to get through security, which is unbelievable, and I can't really stand up for that long, so this is going to be really an uncomfortable experience. They're saying at the moment they're only allowing people whose flights are in the next 2 hours, so my flight's an hour late. So far the airport experience is not great, honestly. It's very stressful, it's very chaotic. So I think I'm going to have to try and find somewhere to sit for a little while because we can't go through yet, and then maybe hopefully it'll calm down a bit. So getting through security did take a while. I don't think it took quite 75 minutes, but I've just been relaxing at the gate. We've got an hour delay, but as long as we're sat down it's not too bad. And then hopefully we're going to start boarding soon. It'll be nice just kind of, I think once you're at the airport you just want to get home, right? So once we're on the journey it'll be good, so let's go.
I've just started the full entertainment system, so do sit back, relax and enjoy what we're showing on tonight's flight.
I'm now back in the rather overcast UK. It's actually not that cold though. I've got this hoodie on and I'm really hot now. The flight was okay. It was delayed 2 hours in the end, but the flight only took just over 7 hours, but it was a bad thing because you couldn't sleep much. Also, the people in front talked the entire flight, which don't be that person. So I'm going to drive home now. I hope I can remember how to drive a manual car. So let's get going. So I actually forgot to finish off the vlog. So it is a little while later and I've now been back in the UK for a while. So I just wanted to give a little recap of the trip. I just want to say first, thank you so much for following me on this epic 21-day trip to Disney World and Universal. It was so brilliant. The Disney part of the trip was more than I ever could have imagined. It was definitely my best trip to Disney World. I did some amazing things like the Keys to the Kingdom tour. I was blown away by Galaxy's Edge. There was just so much amazing food. It was just the best time ever. And the interaction I had with the cast members literally made my trip. It was incredible. It was fantastic to stay at 3 different resorts this time. It was really nice to see the difference between a value resort and a deluxe resort at Disney, and to stay at Universal for the very first time. I would definitely recommend, if you are going to be spending a lot of time at Disney and Universal, trying a split stay. It was really great to be so close to the action and right there with the free transportation with both. So I very much enjoyed that. Of course, the trip had a bit of an unexpected ending, but I was very lucky with how everything went. The hotel were really fantastic and it was the proper Florida experience, wasn't it? If you said it was your ultimate Orlando trip, you ended up with a hurricane, and that is part of being in Florida. I also want to say a massive thank you to all of you that have watched the videos, liked the videos, left comments. It's been so fantastic, and it's been so lovely to hear your thoughts on the vlog series, and also exciting to hear about your upcoming trips to Disney as well. Thank you once again for watching the series. I can't believe it is now over, but we are now in 2023, which means new Disney trips. So very soon I'll be having a Disneyland Paris solo series starting. I've just come back from the trip, so I'm very excited for you to see it. It was my first time going to Avengers Campus. Lots of new dining. There was a bit of a hiccup situation, so you will get to hear all about that. But that will be starting very soon. If you do want to be the first people to see that series, then head over to my Patreon page where you can get early access to vlog series, early access to trip announcements. There are planning templates, you can get gifts from Disney parks, there's lots of things, so go and check that out. I also have another trip announcement coming up very soon, and it's going to be super fun because this is actually going to be a friends trip. There's going to be 6 of us, all adults, going to Disneyland Paris. So I think that is going to be so much fun to share with you and to show what adults can get up to in Disney. So I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be so fantastic. It's a really great bunch of people, so I can't wait to share that with you. So if you have enjoyed this series, make sure you subscribe and you check out my upcoming Disney trips. There's still much more to come this year, and planning videos are going to be coming back. I'm going to be doing planning videos all about Disneyland Paris and Disney World to help you be able to maximise your trips to these parks. So once again, thank you so much for joining me on my ultimate Walt Disney World trip. It was an absolute joy. It was the most wonderful experience, and thank you for coming along with me. And until next time, I hope you have a most magical day. Bye bye.